Not audible, guys? Yeah. So in last class, we have discussed about how to create DOM element, and in that we have seen how to create image element, how to create paragraph element. In today's session, let's see how to remove any DOM element. For that, let's create one paragraph. Let's create one web page. On that web page, let's mention one H1 and one paragraph and one button. Now, whenever user will click on this button, we want to remove this paragraph. We want to remove this paragraph. So in today's session, let's see how to remove any DOM element. So for that, we will mention H1 and paragraph. Now, whenever user will click on this button, we want to remove the paragraph. Or maybe if I click on this button, I want to remove paragraph and this H1 also. So how to do that? Let's try to understand. So for that, create one HTML file. Start with your doc type. Add HTML tag, head tag, and body tag. Let's take one H2 and let's say remove the DOM element and one paragraph. And finally, one button I am taking. I will say remove DOM. Remove para, I will say here. Now, if I load this document in my browser, it looks like this. Now, if I click on this button, I want to remove this paragraph. So if you want to remove this paragraph, first you have to get the DOM element of this paragraph. So whenever we click on this button, we want to perform some action. So I will say here something called FN, remove action. Now let's create this function. Let's take one script tag, function FN remove. Now, if you click on this button, first get the DOM element of this paragraph. How to get the DOM element of this paragraph? There are multiple ways. One of the way is you can go with document.query selector and you can pass your tag name. It will return the paragraph DOM element. Now on this paragraph DOM element, you have to call a function called remove. That's it. You have to just call a function called remove. If you call a function called remove, this DOM element will be removed. Let's see here. Let's refresh. Now, if I click on this, now see that element is removed. Suppose I want to remove this H1 also, this H1 or H2 also I want to remove. To get the first DOM element of that H2. And on that DOM element, call the remove function. Just you have to call remove function. So if I refresh, I have both. If I click on this, both will be removed. Both elements are removed. If you want, I can click on this button. I can remove this both the elements and I can add one image also. I can add one image also. I want to remove H2 and paragraph. I want to add a new element called image. So if you want to add new element called image, first you need to create that image element. So how to create image element already we have seen in the last session. That is using document.create element. You have to pass img tag. it will return the image DOM element. Now on this image DOM element, we have to assign some image URL. We have to assign width and we have to assign height. And then this image element we have to add in our DOM. So for that, we can take the reference of body element. So document.query selector of body, it will return the DOM element of body. If you want on that only we can call append a child. Directly we can append a child. What you want to append? Image DOM. Now let's get some image. So here I will say something like car images. Let's get one image. Let's add here. Now let's go back to our browser, refresh, click on this. An image is created. Again, if you click, one more image will come. Like this, we can add the image element. We can add the image element. Okay, understood guys how to remove the DOM elements. So now you guys are aware of how to change the content of the element. How to add the styles. We know how to change the attributes, value. We know how to create a new DOM element, adding the DOM element in the DOM, and we know how to remove the DOM element, and we know how to access the DOM element. All these things we are aware of. Now, yesterday I have given one task that we want one text box, we want one button. If user enters anything here, then that content we want to show here in the ordered list. So if we add some other content and click on the button, second content should be added as a second list item, like that. So here if I add something like Sagar, then here, and if I click on this button, then it should add Sagar like this. If I remove this Sagar and here if I add any other name, like if I add here Kabir and click on this button, then Kabir should be added as a second list item like this. I want like this. Okay, let's see how we can do this. So first, let's create that user interface. Let's start with doc type, HTML tag, head section, body section. Let's add here something called to do task. Take one input element, input type equals to text. Let's add here placeholder, something called enter something. Take one simple button, something called submit. Let's take style tag. For this body, let's just add some padding. Some 50 pixel I will add. So if I load, it looks something like this. Now here, if I enter something and if I click on this, I want here one list item should be created. So for this, what we will do, here we will take one ordered list. Just we will take OL, and to this OL, we will give some ID. Like I will say list. Now inside this, we have to create LIs. How many LIs? Now that depends upon user, how many times he enter the content in that text box and click on the button. So we are not sure how many LIs need to be created here. So those LIs we have to create based on our data. Based on our data. So what we are going to do now, this is our text box. This is our button. We will create one array. We will create one array. Let's assume that this is our array. Now, whenever user will type some content in this text box, whenever user will type some content in this text box and click on this button, click on this button, we will access this content. We will access this content from the text box and we will add in this array. We will add in this array. So we have added content one. And based on this array, inside our OL, we will create LI. We will create LI. How much content will be present in this array? That many LIs we will create. So what we are going to do here? Whenever user will add some content in the text box, that content we will access and we will add into our array. And based on this array, we will create our LIs. We will create our LIs. And those LIs we will add inside the OL. Those LI we will add inside the OL. That's it. This is what we have to do. So whenever user click on this button, we will access the content, we will add in the array, and based on this array, we will create the LIs, and those LIs we will add in the OL. These are the steps we have to do. So the first step is access the content from the text box. On click of button, on click of button. So whenever user click on the button, first access the content from the text box. So let's go back here. Whenever user click on this button, on click, I want to call one function, get list. I'm just giving a function name as a get list. Now we have to create this function. So here I will take a script tag and then create a function get list. Now the first step, whenever user click on this button, the first step is get the DOM element of this input element. So to get the DOM element of the input element, we have multiple ways. Again, here we have only one text box. So I'm just going with document.query selector of input. It will return the DOM element of input element. And from this DOM element, access the content. How to access the content of the text box? For that, on this input DOM, we have to access a property called value. What this value property will do, whatever content you have typed in the text box, that content it will return. So if it is returning that content, we can hold that content in one variable, something called input value. So first step is done. Getting the access of input DOM element, and from that DOM element accessing the value and assigning to one variable. So let's see whether we are getting the data or not. Let's alert it and let's check whether we are getting the text box data or not. I will go back here. I will refresh. I will type here something like Kabir and click on submit. I got Kabir. Now here I will type something else. I will type here MI, click on submit. I got MI. RCB, submit. We got RCB. Whatever you will type, you are getting that data. Now, second step is what we have to do. Add the text box data inside the array. Inside the array. We have to add the text box data inside the array. Now, to add the data inside the array, first of all, we should have the array. So let's create one array. Outside the function, I will create one array. I will say data. This is how we create the arrays in JavaScript. This way of creating the array in JavaScript is called literal notation. And right now our array name is data. Now inside this array, we have to add this data. How to add any data inside the array? For that, we can use data, nothing but array.push function. And what we want to add, this input value. Input value. We want to add input value. So we have add the text box data inside the array. We have done that. Third now, based on array data, create li element. Create li element. Based on array data, create li element means how many elements are present in the array, that many LIs we have to create. It means how many elements are present in the array, that many LIs we have to create. LIs we have to create. How many elements are present in the array, that many LIs we have to create. Right now in this array, we have only one element. So only one LI should be created. In your array, if you have 10 elements, then you have to create 10 LIs. In your array, if you have 5 elements, you have to create 5 LIs. So based on our array data, we have to create LIs. It means we have to iterate through array. We have to access each element and we have to create LI, and in that LI, we have to add the data. So how we can do that? For that, we can take the help of array functions. We can take the help of array functions or array methods. There is a method called for each. So on our array, we can call for each. We can call a function called for each. Now this for each function will take one argument, that is one callback function. That callback function will take 2 parameters, but right now we require only one parameter, that is element. Now what this for each function will do, it will go to this array, it will pick the first element of the array, and that element it will copy inside this parameter, and then this callback function will be called. Now in this callback function, what we need to do, we have to first create one li element. How to create li element? Using document dot create element. Now it will return one li. Now inside this li, we have to add this content. Whatever content is got copied inside this element. And then this li, we should add inside this OL. Inside this OL, we have to add. Now, how to add inside that OL? For that, we have to get the DOM element of that OL. You have to get the DOM element of that OL. And on that only, if you want, you can add append child of your li. So what we are doing, first we are getting the DOM element of input element. Then from that input element, we are accessing the data. Now that data we are adding in our array. Now we are iterating our array. We are iterating our array. And based on that array, we are creating our LIs. And in that LI, we are adding the element. And then that LI we are adding inside the OL. First, we are creating one LI. In that LI, we are adding the data. And then we are adding that li inside the OL. Now save it. Let's try it works or not. First, I will add here Sagar. Click on submit. So right now here, see, data is not displayed. Let's see if anything is going wrong. Let's add here hi and click on submit. Now here we have one error. Cannot read properties of null. It means somewhere here we have done list. Yeah. So here I am passing wrong input. So for our OL, I think we have given ID as a list. So we have to pass this list, not OL. Now save it. Go back here, refresh it. Now here, let me add hi. Now click on submit. Now here we got hi. Now here I will add hello. Now see the result. The moment I click on this submit, I got hi, hello. See, I got 2 times. I should not get this hi, but here I am getting this hi once again. Now here if I say Sagar, now your result will be hi, hello, Sagar. Hi, hello, Sagar. But we want to restrict this part. If you see here, our first previous elements are repeating. We don't want to repeat that previous elements. So can you guys tell me how to restrict that part? What changes I have to do? If you see here, the result is like this. If I type here first time 1, or first time if I say hi, I got hi. Okay, working properly. Now second time if I am adding the data, hello, then first it is adding hi, then it is adding hello. Now here if I add some other name, now here it will add first hi, hello, then Sagar. Hi, hello, Sagar. So our previous elements are getting repeated. We don't want to repeat it. So what we have to do for that? What we have to do? Any idea? Anyone have any idea? Can you guys give me the solution for that? What I have to do for this. Without array, we cannot do, guys. Array is required. Array is required. Without array, we cannot do that. Without array, we cannot do. 100% array is required. So remember, what we need to do means, whenever user will click on the submit button, right? Whenever user will click on the submit button, first, we have to remove all the children's of that OL. We have to make that OL empty. Inside this OL, we are adding some LIs, right? That LIs we have to make empty. Or else, what you can do, this OL you can generate dynamically. This OL you can generate dynamically. There are two ways. The first way is, whenever user click on this button, whatever LI is present in this OL, remove all that LIs first. Then create all the LIs once again. Create all the LIs once again. That is one way. Or else what we can do, directly we can remove this OL and create new OL. Create new OL. So something like this. So what I will do, I will not create OL here statically. I want OL also dynamically now. Now, whenever user click on this button, first I need to check whether I have OL or not. If I have OL, remove that OL. And then take the reference of input element, get the value from that input element, add that in the array, and then again create the OL, again create the multiple LIs, and then add all the LIs inside the OL. Then things will work properly. So whenever user click on this button, first remove the OL. First remove OL. So when OL is removed, all its children will be removed. Then again create OL. Then add new data in the array. Add new data in the array. And based on array, create LI. Create LIs. Then add LIs again in the OL. Add LIs again in the OL. Then your problem will be solved. So what we need to do, whenever user will click on this button, first we have to remove the OL. How to remove the OL? For that, we have to get the DOM element of the OL, document dot get element by ID of list. On that, you can directly call the remove function. Once it is removed, again you create that OL here. How to create OL? Same, document dot create element. Once OL is created, now to that OL, we can assign one ID attribute and give the value as a list. Then you iterate your array, create multiple LIs, add all the LIs inside the OL. Now see here, if I refresh, I am typing here hi. I will click on submit. So here not able to read properties of something on line number 19. Let's see. Here we are creating. Acha. Document dot. Here we have to add query selector of body. First we have to add OL. Then things will work. Now if you go back here, refresh, hi, click on submit. Now you got here hi. Now here if I say hello, click on submit, you got hello. If I say here Sagar, if I click on submit, I got Sagar. If I say here Raj, if I click on this submit, I got Raj. So if it is working properly. So what we are doing, let's try to list out. So let me refresh it. First time, user is typing hi. And he is clicking on this button. He is clicking on this button. The moment he click on this button, we are calling this function. The moment user click on this button, we are calling this function. Now inside this function, what code we are writing? Let's try to understand. So the first line, what we are doing? We are taking the DOM element of OL. We are accessing the DOM element of this OL. And that OL, we are removing it. That OL, we are removing it. So the first step is get the DOM element of OL and remove it. Second step, get the DOM element of input and access the content from input. Access the data from input. Third, add the data, add the input data inside the array, Fourth, create new ordered list. Nothing but create new OL DOM element. Fifth, first add OL DOM element inside the DOM. Now, if you want to add, now you are creating new OL DOM element. Now that OL DOM element you add inside the DOM. How to add inside the DOM? For that, first get the body DOM element. Second, using append child, add OL in the body. Then sixth step, iterate through array and based on element, create li. Add array data in the li. Once you are done that, then add li inside the OL. This many steps we are following. See, just to do one simple task, how much code we have to write here. First, get the DOM element of OL and remove it. Then get the DOM element of input, access the data from input. Add that input data in the array. Then create new OL now. Again, we have to create OL. Then first add OL DOM element inside the DOM. So whatever OL we have created, add that OL inside the body element. Then iterate through array. Whatever array we created in which we have added the data, iterate through that array and based on element create LIs. Means in that array how much elements are present, that many LIs we have to create. Then each LI we have to add inside the OL. Each LI whatever we have created, we have to add inside the OL. Then you will get this entire task. Now here, if I type Sagar, click on submit, I got Sagar. If I type here Ria, I will get Ria. If I type here something called Ramya, I will get here Ramya. If I type here something called Aditya, here I will get Aditya. So whatever content you will type, it is getting in a proper ordered list. Just to do this simple task, this much code we have written. This much code we have written. Now I will give you one more task here. So right now, if you see, we have a text box, we have a button. Whatever you will type here, you are showing that content in the list format here. For example, Ria. Second, let's example Rahul. Third, Rohan. You are showing like this in the list format. Now what I want, in front of every list item, I want you guys to show one button. I want you guys to show one delete button. I want you guys to show one delete button. Like this one delete button. In front of every option. Here also one delete button. Here also one delete button. Now, if you click on this delete button, I want this content should be removed. If you click on this delete button, then this content should be removed. This entire element you have to remove. Again, if I add new content, that new content should come here. Again, if I click on delete button, that content also should remove. Now, this is the additional thing you have to do. Again, here you have to take the help of array functions. You have to take the help of array functions called splice. You can do this with a function called splice. So splice is one of the array function. So now you have to think how to do this. You can do very easily. I have given one clue that you have to use splice function. Now you have to think how to do this. Clear, guys? Understood this task? Just read once these statements and let me know if you have any doubts. Yeah. So for JavaScript people, the people who joined JavaScript with me, so we started our JavaScript sessions 1 month back. And in that, we have started our discussion with what is JavaScript, purpose of JavaScript, features of JavaScript, what is program, what is execution, all that we have discussed. Then we discussed about installation. We discussed about variables. We discussed about data types. We discussed about functions concept. We discussed about object concept. We discussed about array concept. Array methods also we discussed. Today we used push, and for one function I told we have to use splice. Already we have discussed. We have discussed selection statements. We discussed about spread operator, rest parameter, destructuring, scopes. We discussed about this keyword. We discussed about call, apply, bind. We discussed difference between them. We discussed about closures. We done with the promises. We done with the DOM manipulation also. Like what is DOM? What are the DOM objects? How to access the DOM object? How to manipulate your DOM elements? What is get element by ID? Get element by class? Query selector? Inner text? Append or append child? Both are same. Inner HTML we have to discuss. And then we have seen how to create element, add the content in that element, how to add new created DOM element in the DOM, and how to remove the DOM element. These are the things we have discussed. When it comes to OOPS, this part I will discuss in TypeScript. Anyways, we are going to learn TypeScript also. In that TypeScript, I will teach about the object-oriented programming. There we will compare JavaScript and TypeScript and we will learn. Next, module concept. This concept we will learn in React.js. So maybe in the 5th or 6th session of our React, we are going to learn module concept. And in this way, we are going to finish our JavaScript. One more part which is pending is Fetch API. This Fetch API also, I will teach you in React. So Fetch API, module concept. This both the concepts we are going to cover in our React.js. And here we are going to start our React.js from Monday, guys. So the people who are just attending this workshop for DOM and DOM manipulation, for your information, guys, I am starting React.js from Monday. And this is the complete syllabus of React.js. This is the complete syllabus of React.js. So in case if you want to learn React, or if you want to just attend at least demo sessions, then I think already I have given you the registration link. You guys can just register yourself to attend the demo sessions. If you like, you can proceed with the course. If you don't like, you can just ignore that part. So I am starting React.js, guys, from Monday. Yes, TypeScript also we will learn, guys. Yeah, this is the copy, guys. Let me just give you the syllabus copy also. Actually, this is the syllabus of entire full stack. And this is the syllabus of React.js. With JavaScript it was. But right now from Monday, I am starting with plain React.js. Okay. In that, I won't be covering JavaScript now. Already we started JavaScript. So these were the JavaScript concepts what we have covered. So in this part is pending, which we will cover in React. Fetch API we will cover in React. Module concept we will cover in React. Oops, we will cover in TypeScript. We will cover in TypeScript. So anyways, in the TypeScript, we are going to cover the oops in very detailed way. That is the reason I kept there. And this is the React syllabus, guys. Okay. So I'm just giving this syllabus to everyone. I think I have already given. So from Monday, I am starting with React, guys. In that, I will be teaching TypeScript also. So we are going to see React.js with TypeScript and JavaScript. So React.js with JavaScript and TypeScript. Or I can say React with JavaScript and TypeScript, which will go almost for 45 days, guys. 45 days it will go. So the duration is 45 days and timing will be from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., guys. Timing will be from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sessions will be from Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. Okay. Whatever syllabus I have given, I will be covering each and every topic. So while winding up our React.js session, again, we will go through each and every topic of our syllabus. If anything is pending, we will cover that. We will cover that. Then only we will wind up our entire batch. So right now, certain topics I am going to cover in TypeScript, certain topics in React. So like this, once we're done with React and TypeScript completely, again, we will go through our syllabus. If any topic is pending, we will cover that topic and then we will wrap our batch. I hope everybody has the syllabus. Just download that syllabus and keep with you. If any topic is missing or if I did not cover, you have complete rights to tell me, sir, this topic is not covered. So we will cover that topic. Okay. Yeah. So today I will stop here itself, guys. Our next session is on Monday, guys, where we are starting React.js. So the first 5 sessions are free. Anyone can attend the first 5 sessions. 5 to 7 sessions around. You can easily attend without doing any payment. If you like, then proceed with React. If you don't like, just ignore. Yeah, tomorrow we don't have any DOM session, guys. Whatever that 4 operations I wanted to teach, I have covered all that. So now our next session is directly on Monday, where we are going to start with React.